So in this video, I just wanted to take a quick look at this pen. This is the Pilot G2 Stylus version. I think these have been available for about 2 years now, but I had never really heard of them before recently, so I picked some up. And what it is a standard G2 pen from Pilot, but with a stylus tip, and it's just this soft rubber tip up there. The major difference, obviously aside from the tip, is that you don't push this tip to activate a button. That would be kind of weird, right? Which if you were using it as a stylus, you would have to worry about clicking the button. Instead, the clip pushes in and out, and that triggers the pen. In most ways, this is very similar to the G2. You can see the tip is the same, the grip is the same. The body has changed, but just aesthetically, here it's a clear or smoked plastic. Here it is this, it's sort of, it looks like it's metal or aluminum, but it's not. It's just a painted plastic with these little dots. And they're not all like that. Some are opaque, black, there's come in different colors. The clip is the same, although it does say pen stylus on it. And then again, you lose that button, and instead you have the stylus. I tested out the stylus a bit. I'm not much of a tablet user, but I did test it out. And basically the way it works is, it won't work if you're just brushing with this rubber end. It just won't trigger the capacitive touch on your device. But if you push it down and you hit this harder surface, there must be something in there, and you don't have to push that hard to trigger it, but if you push down, then it'll function. So you do have to have some pressure on it. I'm not sure if that's just how it is, or if that is to prevent accidental touches, but you can't do a very light feather that won't trigger say an iPhone screen or something like that. But if you push down a little bit and press it, it will work. So I haven't taken it apart to get what's in there, and I probably should. It doesn't immediately come off. You could give it a good tug and it won't be removed. So here's the clip action. We'll just let you guys see it, so I know that's the big difference. And it stays down like that. And there you go. If you try to put it in your pen, in your pocket like this, it won't retract or anything like that. It'll stay like that. So there's no cleverness there. One major downside I've found, and this I found to be really bothersome, is that like this, it's a normal G2 style pen. Just everything works the same as it would, and there's no real movement, no real changes, nothing like that. But when you push it down, now the stylus is in a sort of loose position, and you could feel it when you move it around. So as you're writing, you get a little bit of shake from the clip. Obviously, you don't write like this, but you might write, and this will keep shaking, and that is just absolutely infuriating. I don't know how they release the pen with that amount of wiggle there, because it just makes no sense to me. Once you clip it back, see, now the spring is engaged and it barely moves around. But here, where the spring is not engaged, it wiggles. And then the other version of the pen I have, it was a 2-pack I bought. Same deal. So I don't think this is like a lemon or anything like that. I think this is just a kind of serious flaw in how the pen was designed. Opening the pen up, there is a spring in there you could just make out. Standard G2 refill, you can see that if you want to check the serial number, but standard G2, and you can see right there, G2 7 Japan, so normal refill. And this is my old G2, and this one has a G2 of 0.38. So put this in here. No problem, that works great. I can take this piece out, put that there, works great. So, and then when I do that, actually I get a little bit of a firmer clip, firmer button press, and I think it just This is not scientific, but it feels like the old spring, at least the spring I have in this red pen. It feels a little firmer than the newer spring. So I wonder if they went a little bit light duty on that. It's definitely harder to push now. Still shakes, that has to do with the internal mechanism, but the pushing is much harder with this older spring. So if you're like really getting into the weeds on the differences here, I'd also note that the older G2s, in this case, this old G2 1.0 millimeter in red, seems to use a different spring than the new ones. So who knows what's going on there. So to wrap up, this is the, I got that backwards. This is the G2 Stylus pen. I think it's an interesting idea. If you wanted a nice G2 gel pen and you use tablets or you draw on your phone, or I don't know, Wacom, whatever you got for your stylus, this will get the job done and you'll have a good pen on the other side. I won't even do a writing test because I could tell you it's a standard Pilot G2 0.7 millimeter. I think we've all seen that 1,000 times. Writes great. A little bit of smearing, standard pen, Pilot situation, but writes great. And then you are going to have to deal with that little bit of clip shake, which I think is unforgivable, but it doesn't happen that much in stylus mode, just in writing mode. And of course you can just write with this down and kind of just hold on to it tight. That'll solve it. I would probably put a rubber band around here just to prevent that, but maybe I'm more sensitive to it than you are. So yeah, G2 stylus, it's a real thing that exists and it's probably useful for some people. Thanks for watching.